Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guests today are Carol Andrews, a Democratic consultant, Chip Saltzman on the Republican side. We're talking presidential politics, of course. I've also noticed in the way this campaign is moving along that we have a situation where, Chip, you mentioned the Obamacare situation. Carol, is that sort of a late developing issue in this race, but it's one that probably cuts more against Hillary Clinton than it does against Donald Trump. So is that going to move the meter in some of these states?
I don't know that it really does. I think that people are so already decided for one candidate or another anyway. It's certainly not helpful.
But some of what I'm hearing from some of the pollsters is that there's still a pretty large number of people who are either sort of going for third party or sort of undecided. We have a larger undecided now than we did, say, 4 years ago and even 8 years ago. So there is still the possibility, if not the probability, of movement.
It could be. You know, that's to be seen. Like I said, it certainly isn't helpful. That remains to be seen as to how well, you know, the Trump campaign really is able to get that message out about it. They're not doing it through paid media at all. He has been banging on it in his speeches and rallies, but again, that's different when you go out in paid media.
Chip, sometimes candidates don't say things, but things happen in their campaign that make you wonder what really is going on. For example, on the third debate, we saw the debut of Trump TV on Facebook.
Right.
A rumor throughout this campaign that what Trump was really angling for, if he loses, was to set up his own new, I guess, conservative talk show TV network.
Right.
Was that the shakedown cruise for that?
Oh, I don't think so. Look, I've been with people running for president before, and people say that this is what they really do. I can tell you, the person that's running for president is thinking about being president of the United States, period. But
they're not raising money anymore.
They're not raising money for the RNC. They're still raising money for their campaign. They're in the last couple of days. They're raising money for their campaign.
But doesn't that sort of underscore the problem between the RNC and the mainstream Republicans in a lot of cases and the Trump campaign?
Yeah,
normally they work hand in glove.
But that's been a problem since he was the nominee. I mean, we've had moments of playing nice with each other. But look, the Washington establishment folks were never excited about Donald Trump. They're not going to be excited about Donald Trump. There's a few folks that are going to be helping him, obviously. But look, this guy's got a shot to be the president of the United States. I can assure you that their campaign is thinking about winning on November 8th.
Let's talk a little bit. Both of you have managed campaigns on various levels. Chip, you actually did some on the presidential level with Mike Huckabee. Carol, on the Clinton side, some of the WikiLeaks emails that have come out have kind of indicated that her staff didn't necessarily appreciate the problem that she might have with those emails and with what was going to happen with her foundation. All the people that she hires are really smart. They've been around Washington a long time. How did they not see that train coming?
I can't tell you, not having been there, how they didn't see that train coming. I can tell you that in any campaign, you have emails going back and forth and conversations going back and forth, and people say a lot of things. And they're very candid with one another. And the WikiLeaks emails that are coming out are really no surprise to me. You know, they'll say, well, that person's stupid, or his opinion is stupid, or whatever, or the stories that, you know, they tried to push back this debate, or they tried to float this story. None of that is out of the ordinary for a campaign. None of it.
So, Chip, your thoughts about the WikiLeaks thing? I haven't seen any smoking guns there, but are there some things that, if she's elected president, are going to continue and linger around, and she's going to have to continue to deal with it, as embarrassing as some of them are?
Look, I think I actually agree with Carol. I hate to do that 10 days before an election, but I will. The stuff in the emails back and forth with the campaign stuff is pretty normal type stuff. I've probably said a few things worse than some of those folks had, but what I think what should concern the American people is that the Secretary Clinton is just so kind of insular and just doesn't have a very good look at kind of normal America, in the sense that she's like, why is this a problem? I mean, you could tell that in her conversations, or the conversations about her, that this doesn't apply to her. And I think that's a bigger problem. Of course, that's a little bit more in the weeds. But as far as the campaign people talking back and forth, I guarantee you, Pat, if you and I email about Carol after the show, I may not say very nice things about her.
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Well, we'll keep our email traffic to a minimum on that. But on the Trump side, Chip, if you had been in Kellyanne Conway's situation throughout this fall campaign, how difficult would it been for you to have stayed on? I mean, obviously, she's wanting him to do certain things, particularly stay on message, and that is not Donald Trump.
So I tell people all the time, as campaign manager, my job is not to agree with the candidate. That is actually probably my bigger job is not to agree with the candidate, and I might actually push the candidate on stuff that I agree with just to challenge him to make sure, or her, to see if that is the best way to say it or the best way to communicate it. But at the end of the day, the candidate's name is on the ballot and not yours. And your job is to challenge, push, pull, try to get the best out of them. But when the candidate makes the decision, whether it's Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, this is the direction we're going to go, the answer is we'll get the troops ready, and that's where we're headed.
Chip Saltzman's our guest. He's a Republican analyst, along with Carol Andrews, who's on the Democratic side. We're talking presidential politics. We'll take another break and come back once more to talk about the presidential race on Inside Politics.